Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Elisa Booker.
And I'm Fatih Ba. It's the last week of school before students head home for Thanksgiving break, and we're so excited to be starting the week off with you.
And this weather is another reason to be excited. It has felt like the perfect fall day all day today.
It really has. Let's check in with our weather anchor Dennis Kaya to take a look at our current conditions.
Hello again, Oxford, Mississippi. Dennis Kaya back with some warm weather. It is currently 69 degrees. It's pretty breezy with a little bit of some cloudy conditions, but we'll get more with the weather back at the desk.
Thank you, Dennis. This weather really has me in the mood for a warm holiday drink.
I could absolutely not agree more, although it may take a little longer than usual to get your hands on one. NewsWatch reporter Ashton Lamar has a full story.
Since the release of holiday drinks last week at Starbucks, the lines have been insanely long both on campus and off campus. Drinks like peppermint mocha, caramel brulee, sugar cookie, and gingerbread chai are back on the menu for a limited time.
Yesterday, I went to the library Starbucks after class, and the line was so long. I had to wait 30 minutes for a drink, but it was worth it, honestly.
Starbucks last week to get the sugar cookie holiday drink, and I waited 35 minutes in the drive-thru line off campus while it was literally wrapped out on the road. And I feel like every time a new seasonal drink comes out, whether it's fall or winter, the lines get crazy and they always are very slow with production.
There used to be a feature on the university's website where you could look at live cameras of both Starbucks' lines on campus, but for right now, those cameras are unavailable. During these busy times, the Grubhub app disables online orders, making it harder for students to get their favorite drinks, which ultimately makes these lines longer. Reporting for NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Ashton Lamar.
In more seasonal news, Grove Grocery has kicked off their annual Egg Bowl food fight. If you're into beating Mississippi State in more ways than one, the Egg Bowl food fight is a friendly competition with the Bulldogs to see which school can collect the most donation for campus food pantries before the Egg Bowl. If you haven't donated yet, don't worry, you still have a little bit of time with the competition ending on November 21st. You can donate canned goods, hygiene products, meal swipes to Grove Grocery, or you can even donate online.
If you're in the mood to practice gratitude and giving with a full plate of food, celebrate Friendsgiving tomorrow in the Johnson Commons Ballroom. The event is hosted by the Center for Inclusion and Cross-Cultural Engagement, the Black Student Union, Men of Excellence, and the National Society of Black Engineers. Friendsgiving will last from 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow, November 18th. Events include dinner, games, and a food drive for Grove Grocery. Donations are appreciated, and all are welcome to attend. Now let's take a look at an important student role on campus. The Associated Student Body aims to represent the Ole Miss student body through 3 branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. Jack Jones is a senior public policy leadership major and serves as president of ASB. Through this role, he has worked to prioritize students in the VOT through lowering the cost of concessions and adding more hydration stations. As many of you have noticed in recent weeks, he has worked to provide more mental health resources for students near the end of the semester to help combat the stress of finals. Now let's take a listen to what else being the voice of the student body entails.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time in meetings with administrators. My job is a whole lot of, there are committee meetings that are going on or other meetings at the institution, and my job is to sit in those meetings, and if there's a student perspective that needs to be shared, then I traditionally share that student perspective and ensure that students are represented in those decisions. And then, I also spend a lot of time trying to interact with students across campus and hear student concerns, and that way I'm a better informed advocate.
We talked a bit about student health just a minute ago, and during this time in the semester, it is especially important to remember to take care of yourself and your mind.
One way Ole Miss is reminding students to prioritize mental health is through the Chancellor's Grove Initiative. Today, they sent out the top tips for relaxing and recharging during the break before coming back for finals.
Some of the tips include giving yourself permission to rest and relax, unplug for a little bit, and get some fresh air.
Well, speaking of fresh air, what's the weather looking like for tonight?
Well, tonight it is going to be a little bit cloudy and windy, but it's getting real warm. But we'll get more into details on the weather right after this break.
Scientists say it can change your brain. It can release dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde into your bloodstream. can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible damage. It's not a parasite, not a virus, not an infection. It's vaping.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Shall I tell you about my life? Say I'm a man of the world. I've flown across every time, and I've seen lots of pretty girls. Guess I've got everything I need. I wouldn't ask more, and there's no one I'd rather be.
Never ever drink and drive. Could you live with the shame? From DOE, supported by AXA Insurance.
Hello again. I'm back and I'm feeling great. Well, actually not so much, because right now I'm a little bit sick, and I'm sure some of you might be sick too. But that's good news, because like I said, this week, or that today, but today obviously it is getting pretty warm, and it should be for the rest of the week. As we're looking forward today, it's 70 degrees, it is a little bit cloudy, and there's some winds 8 miles an hour blowing in from the southeast. But other than that, it is getting warmer, and you'll see here, for the rest of the region, it's the same thing. And up here, right here, that is not a typo. It is 79 degrees over there. Now, this is explained, of course. This is something called an urban heat island effect. And what that basically means is because in this area over here, because it's more developed than Oxford, there's more things like human activity and asphalt buildings and stuff and near body waters that kind of absorb and retain that heat. And this kind of thing is affecting the entire region here, which is why it's getting a little bit more warmer. And there shouldn't be any cold fronts or any like drafts. So again, that affects the heat, and it is giving us more of a chance to warm up a little bit, which is odd because now it should be getting colder, right? But I guess not. For tonight, you can see that, or for the lows, you can see that it is getting a little consistent with the warm temperatures. It's not that cold, but as you can see, it is getting a little bit for South Haven, 60 degrees, and for Holly Springs, it's 41 degrees. Now, for tonight's forecast, it's going to be 55 degrees. It's cloudy. There's going to be some winds from 8 miles an hour to high gusts of 20 miles an hour. So unless you're a party animal who goes out partying on Mondays, don't got to worry too much about the weather for tonight. And for tomorrow's forecast, we're warming up even more, 75 degrees. Same kind of conditions, not too really special, but again, it's getting warmer and there's no chance of rain. And for the rest of the region for tomorrow, it's even hotter now. It's scorching hot even. 82 degrees. It's almost like the beginning of the semester, how hot it's getting. But I guess even then, like I always say, very consistent. I love using that word. We have a three-piece header here with Holly Springs and Oxford and South Haven with a 61-degree header mark. Now, for tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be even hotter again in the evening, 66 degrees. So heating bill is going to be real touching right there. Now, for the storm, even though it's going to get real hot, for the conditions, though, for weather, there will be some rain. There shouldn't be any rain for the coming days, but for Thursday, Friday, and even maybe for the weekend, there will be some storms, thundering, and that, again, shouldn't really be affecting the overall temperature. But again, there will be some rain, and you never know. There's always some unexpected surprises with rain. But for the 12-hour forecast, I'll predict what the storm's going to start doing. So the winds are blowing from the south, and it's projected that it's going to start blowing towards us down here, down to the middle of the week. And like I said, it's going to be bringing some of those storms, as you can see here, for the rest of the week. But yeah, This week, it's getting warmer. It should be getting warmer this week, and it feels great to be back. How do you guys feel about the weather getting all warm now?
You know what? I think Mother Nature needs to make up her mind and decide what season we're actually in.
I could not agree more, Fati. But one thing I can say is that luckily the weather here in Mississippi is a little similar to the ones in Florida. So maybe the Gators didn't feel too out of place this weekend.
Well, I think they felt a little uncomfortable, especially going home with a loss. But coming up, Kewan Lacey is killing the running game, saying goodbye to the Tad Pad and the other Florida matchup.
You know, you're doing a great job, but you're not using all your assets. With a body like that, you can go places.
Sexual harassment makes you feel like less of a person. For help and hotline numbers, ask for the Stop Sexual Harassment booklet at your public library.
Be a little more sexy. Hey, we're talking about your job here.
No, we're talking about sexual harassment here, and I don't have to take it.
Sexual harassment violates you, and it violates the law.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. With your sports updates, I'm Macy Ivy. Ole Miss running back Kewan Lacey has set a new record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season. This record was previously held by Quingshawn Judkins, but Lacey finished the night with 19 on the season. On top of this, he also set a career high in rushing yards in a game with 224 against the Gators. Lacey also received SEC Co-Offensive Player of the Week as announced today by the conference. Lacey's rushing performance is the 8th best in Ole Miss history, and he's averaging 111 yards and nearly 2 touchdowns per game. Now, Lacey still had his coach and team to thank.
It comes with, having a support system like my coaches, just trusting and believing me. Just coming in here, putting in long hours of watching film with my coaches, going through walkthroughs. It's just a great feeling just coming out here and just showing what I got to do and having the ability.
Ole Miss football got their revenge on the Florida Gators this past Saturday, defeating them in the last home game of the season. Reporter Parker Fulton was there to catch all of the action.
Hey Rebel Nation, the Ole Miss Rebels defeated the Florida Gators by a score of 34-24 on Senior Day, in what was an electric atmosphere in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium.
Ole Miss had a great start by forcing a 3-and-out and marching down the field and getting on the board first from a Kewan Lacey 3-yard touchdown run, which broke the Ole Miss single-season rushing touchdown record. The Landshark defense forced another 3-and-out, and Lucas Carnero kicked a 27-yard field goal to put Ole Miss up 10-0. Florida responded by marching down the field and getting on the board off a 5-yard touchdown run from DJ Lagway. Trinidad Chambliss threw a pick which set the Gators up perfectly to take their first lead of the game off a 2-yard touchdown run from Jaden Ball. The Rebs offense responded right back as Chambliss connected with Dejon Stribling for a 43-yard touchdown. Lagway found J. Michael Sturdivant for a 57-yard touchdown to put Florida back up. The Revs went down and Carnero kicked a 23-yard field goal to cut the deficit to 1. Florida responded right back with a field goal of their own right before halftime. Neither offense could get anything going in the third quarter. However, Kwan Lacey had a 59-yard rush the last play of the third quarter and capped it off with a 1-yard touchdown run to put the Revs back up. The defense shut down the half by not allowing any points and had 2 huge plays in the fourth quarter with a wideout Williams interception off of Centarian Perkins' deflection and a big sack by Principal Monmielen, which set up the Rebels' offense perfectly. Lacey continued his historic night with his 3rd touchdown of the game. Lacey rushed for 224 yards, SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Chambliss threw for 301 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. You can see the Rebels play for the Battle of the Golden Egg in the Egg Bowl on November 28th at 11 a.m.
Parker Fulton, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Men's hoops defeated California State Bakersfield in the Tad Pad finale last Friday. Reporter William Traylor was at the pad to catch all of the action.
The Ole Miss men's basketball team hosted their final game in the CM Tad Smith Coliseum last night. The building, affectionately known as the Tad Pad, will be demolished next year as the university plans for more expansion. Students and basketball fans sold out the arena for the finale ball game in an emotional farewell to the iconic building. The Tad Pad was built in 1966, hosting orientations, graduations, and several notable speakers over its nearly 60 years. It was replaced by the Pavilion in 2016.
It's been a special place. It's been, a place where we've celebrated graduations, basketball games, making the cheer team.
It is so hard to turn loose at Tad Smith Coliseum because some of the great basketball games. I remember Charles Barkley never made a free throw in all 4 years he was that Auburn came.
The Smith family, for whom the building is named, was also honored at the game. The university's website says a parking lot will take its place while the university, quote, determines future building needs. In the last night's farewell game, the Rebels hosted the California State Roadrunners, winning the game by nearly 22 points and giving the Tad Pad one last victory. The final score was 60-82.
Rebel fans, Ole Miss Athletics has announced a new We Win, You Win promotion for this basketball season. How do I win, you ask? Well, if we win. If you scan your ticket into the game and the Rebels win, you'll receive a complimentary ticket to the next home game. Scan that complimentary ticket, and if the Rebs win, you still get another ticket. So if the Rebs win, it's a never-ending cycle for fans. This promotion applies to both men and women's games, and the tickets will be automatically uploaded to your account. This will debut during the ACC-SEC Challenge games, so go to the Pavilion and try it out for yourself. And keeping it on the court, Ole Miss volleyball fell to the Florida Gators on Friday. Reporter Malik Chase Faulkner has the recap.
Faulkner with NewsWatch Ole Miss, and we're here at the Gillum Center today to watch Ole Miss volleyball take on the Florida Gators.
Ole Miss came up short against Florida despite putting together a strong statistical performance. The Rebels recorded 52 kills, 70 digs, and 50 assists. Florida matched the pace with 51 kills, but the difference maker came at the service line, where the Gators totaled 9 aces. Defensively, Ole Miss had the standout of the game. Number 2, Cami Neeson, who led all players with 20 digs, dominating the back row. Offensively, number 14, Malia Johnson delivered a team-high and match-leading 16 kills, keeping Ole Miss in long rallies. Florida beat the Rebels at the net by 1 with 9 blocks, and despite Ole Miss's gritty effort, the Gators' serving runs carried them to the win.
That's all I have for tonight. Check back in tomorrow for more sports news. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Macy, for that sports update. Up next, we have the story on a local art show.
And an update on all things national news. NewsWatch Ole Miss, we'll be right back.
Okay, from now on, I'm not talking and I'm going to be ready at all times.
What's that?
We have a gun.
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister and Mom.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake?
Where'd you hear that?
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded? Remember when I found my Christmas gift? You always told me to be curious.
No. No, that's not what I meant.
And when it's just me and Mom, I could use the gun to protect her.
No, Justin, I promise. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
If you don't tell your children about the danger of drugs, you may find a problem staring you right in the face. A problem that won't go away. Or even worse, one that does.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. The Oxford Artists Guild recently held their annual Biggest Baddest Art Show to showcase local artists and their work. NewsWatch reporter Tyra Walton has the inside look.
Located at the Powerhouse Community Arts Center here in Oxford, Mississippi, the Oxford Artists Guild's art organization hosted its annual Biggest Baddest Art Guild Show. Established over 45 years ago, the Oxford Artists Guild is the oldest art organization in Oxford, Mississippi. This week, the organization and art lovers gathered to view original work by artists here in the Oxford community.
And so the pieces are all different styles and mediums, and the members are also of a lot of different variety. We have a lot of locals who might have been in Oxford for a long time, but then they're always getting new members from different parts of the state or even outside of Mississippi as well.
With over 60 pieces of art, the Powerhouse was filled with pottery, woodwork, sculptures, handmade ornaments, and paintings. While a judge selected the winners, attendees could vote for their favorite piece and enter a drawing for a $100 cash prize. The guests were able to walk around, enjoy refreshments, artwork, and purchase selected art. If you missed the reception, you still have an opportunity to view artwork from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. now through January 4th of 2026. For information about purchasing artwork or joining the Oxford Artists Guild, please email oxfordartistsguild@gmail.com. Reporting from the Oxford Artists Guild's Art Show, I'm Tyra Walton, and this is NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Now in national news. Although Thanksgiving isn't for another 10 days, travelers already have a reason to be thankful. As of today, the FAA has lifted its government shutdown-related flight cuts, which impacted 40 major airports. This update means flight operations across the country will return to normal just in time for Thanksgiving, which is known as the busiest air travel time of year. While travelers can celebrate this victory, experts still want people to be aware and prepared for more typical reasons for flight delays, like bad weather.
As the song says, Santa Claus is coming to town, but this year he might be on a budget. As we get closer to the holiday, to see tariffs impacting the toy industry. Shoppers should expect higher prices and fewer toys on the shelves. But this price increase won't stop U.S. shoppers. Recent surveys found consumers plan to spend roughly $800 to $900 per person this year. Consumers are ignoring their once established budgets in exchange for a little extra holiday magic. Now, bringing things to North Carolina, dozens were arrested in Charlotte this past weekend after the Department of Homeland Security's latest targeted immigration raid. The department said the raid was planned to target illegal immigrants who fled to North Carolina because they knew sanctuary politicians would protect them. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein fired back at federal agents, saying their actions aren't making people safer, but are causing fear and a big divide in the community. Fallout in the States includes protests, closed businesses, and canceled events in response to the recent activity. That wraps up our national news update for today. Back to you at the desk, Fati.
Thank you, Lisa. Coming up next, we have a full style guide for your Thanksgiving fashion. NewsWatch Ole Miss, we'll be right back.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
My name is Charles Ole. I was in the United States Navy, flight deck, Harry S. Truman. A veteran friend of mine took his own life with a gun. What didn't take place? What didn't happen that could have prevented that? Safely storing your weapon is important. It's your guard that you put up beforehand to ensure that if you're not in the right state of mind, you're still watching your own back. Service never stops as far as locking it up properly. Protect yourself and those around you.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. For most, Thanksgiving is all about food, but entertainment anchor Cassie Rickley is here to make sure your holiday outfits are, well, eating too.
Cassidy, let's hand it over to you for a full Thanksgiving fashion breakdown.
Thanks, guys. I'm Cassie Rickley with more fashion tips for you. With Thanksgiving being about a week away, I find it only fitting that I give you some Thanksgiving tips for what to wear this year. I know every family has a different way of doing things, so I'm here to give you a casual option, some formal options, and some things that you could throw on to make a day look transform into a night look. Starting off with casual outfits, you can never go wrong with a classic sweater, especially with the weather starting to drop a little bit. I really like the turtleneck sweaters for Thanksgiving because I feel like it just screams fall. Then, depending on how cold it is for you at home, you could throw on a vest on top of it with some leggings and some type of boot or Ugg to stay comfy and warm while still looking presentable. Moving on to a formal look, I feel like Thanksgiving is often associated with a lot of brown colors, so embracing that, I would wear a brown dress with a white long sleeve underneath it, or maybe even a sweater dress. You can dress this look up more with some high boots and socks to stay warm even though you're wearing a dress. And finally, for those who are going somewhere right after your Thanksgiving plans, I think throwing on a jacket is the key to switching up your look. Whether it's a leather jacket or a softer one, I feel as if it brings your outfit to life, especially in the night scene. I hope everybody has a very happy and safe Thanksgiving no matter how you're going to celebrate or what you're planning on wearing. I'm Cassidy Rickley with your guide to fashion. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight. I'm Elisa Booker.
And I'm Fati Bob with your latest news.
I'm Dennis Kai with Stormwatch.
And with Sports Watch, I'm Macy Ivy.
Thank you for watching NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Good night.